much for staying with us on the program. When you hear constituency project, you imagine what that means. Over the years, there is an organization budget using Tracker, a special program to track constituency projects that have been approved in the budget. It means that for every constituency that has been captured constitutionally by every representative in the National Assembly has some level of projects that they bring to the community. In all of these projects that have been funded, the Tracker, which is a tool that has been devised by Budget and his and friends, have gone on the field to find out whether or not this project exists, the funding of the project, the state of execution, and of course, whether or not there is a truth in what the project really stands for. I'm being joined by the co-founder of Budget and co-founder of Tracker, Mr. Onigbinde, who is live for us here in Abuja. So thanks so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
It's good to see you.
Thank you so much.
40 is really looking different than you. The last time you were under 40, but now you're 40 and really interesting. How are you today?
I'm fine, I'm well. Thank you so much.
Constituency project, we are back. Now you tag the report, the people and government oversight.
Exactly.
But there are a lot of people who will know that it's going to be a bit of a disaster because in the last 3 years, there's been a problem of disbursement and a problem of capital injection into the budget that have been planned. Is it?
That's very true. What we have seen is a low implementation of constituency project, also a poor implementation of constituency project, as you would see. Recently, we took a look at 2,760 constituency projects. And because we know that budget in Nigeria recently had been going in, concurrently, we had 2020, 2024, 2025 projects running. And the 2024 project was even they stretched up to December last year. In fact, we are still implementing part of the 2024 budget now. Now, the 2025 budget is also almost nearly all the constituency projects were not funded. If you recollect, the lawmakers said that they have gotten an allocation up to ₦1 billion from the presidency to put in there as constituency project. But unfortunately, most of those projects were not funded. So, and 70% of those projects were rolled over the 2026 budget. So, most times you look into the 2026 budget, now you find a whole lot of constituency projects there again. Yeah. We're hoping that the National Assembly will not have another layer of constituency project in again. But reality is that the constituency project, it's always a paradigm to find out the way the capital project, the poor execution of capital projects in this country. Yeah. First problem, planning. Do we plan properly for capital projects? Do we plan based on the needs of the population? And most importantly, do we even evaluate value for money? When we put in this constituency project, do we ensure that the right road, the right school, the right hospital is properly built as it should be? Let's
find out. Just imagine anyone, if you don't understand where Ms. Onigbinde says we are still executing 2024 project. If you were a student and you have pocket money to run your time in school, just imagine that you are in 2026 and your pocket money of 2024, you are still running on it. Just imagine how that could be. And that's what the problem that we're faced with budget implementation over the last 2 years. But let's find out what budget have found out. They're looking beyond the budget lines and critically looking at the details. And that's why Tracker is a civic technology platform by Budget to track all of the projects which the National Assembly members are putting together. But this is what they have found out. Mr. Onigbinde, is over a 13-month period, and this is what they found out. Give us an understanding.
2,760 projects. We have 10 projects we track per month per state, and some of these projects are spread across the federation. They also are included 47 PHCs. These are things we track between October 2024 and October 2025 is when we looked into some of these projects.
That's the scope of your work. Now, this is what you have found out. There are winners and there are those who are really struggling to stay afloat.
Yeah, and some of these things have to do with the intensity of the lawmakers to push things through. Because let's not lie, these are not state projects. These are federal government projects.
Through the National
Assembly members. But what we're worried about the expansion of constituency projects. Let's not forget, constituency projects started by being an 100 billion naira packet, which means every National Assembly fitted all their constituency projects in 100 billion. In the 8th National Assembly is when things started going crazy, if you allow me to use that word. when people now left that packet and they now went straight into the budget and started inserting indiscriminately. So now, even if you see a lawmaker, you don't know, are you a lawmaker or are you a local government chairman? Because you stay like Kaduna, which is also good sometimes. Rivers, Bauchi, Gombe, Kano have the increase, as we said, Katsina, Rivers, Bauchi, Gombe led the completion rate above 65%, demonstrating what is possible with proper oversight. Meanwhile, Delta, Ondo, Yobe, Benue, and Adamawa lag behind with the rate below 34%. By the time we scroll on, we will see how the states themselves fared on the stage.
So we have dominance of this project happening in Katsina, Rivers State, Bauchi, Gombe, and Kano.
And not just their dominance, the performance. Okay. Because now you have more of those states, performances that means
above 60%.
60% of projects.
But in Delta, Ondo, Yobe, Benue, and Adamawa, below 34%.
They lag behind.
Disaster. So let's look at what we have based on what the projects that never were. And part of the problem is, I hope that, what's the name of these hospital that always get
Federal Cooperative College or GRIVA.
Or GRIVA. I hope that it's a very notorious conduit for funding and insertion of projects. So what do we have?
We have unexecuted projects. So we said 2.19 billion were tapped to projects that were never started. In Benue, Ondo, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, and Sokoto.
2 billion.
Yeah. So you also have, because let's say for instance, these projects are 10 million, 50 million, 100 million naira worth projects. In the abandoned project, and there has to be questions about lawmakers in these states. Taraba, Abia, Nasarama, Adamawa, and Ogun. 7.8 billion in abandoned projects were found in just 5 states. So 97.5% of abandoned projects were found in just 5 states.
In 5 states. Taraba, Abia, Nasarawa,
Adamawa,
and so if citizens want to really, they need to be asking their lawmakers.
What's happening?
7.8 billion worth of abandoned projects in those states. There are states that unexecuted projects at all.
Yeah.
At all. This one, they even started it, but they abandoned it. But unexecuted at all, 2 billion worth in Benue, Ondo, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, and Sokoto State. Be asking 3 questions and tough one from your lawmakers. But this one,
fraudulent delivery, that means place where even, let's assume that you were supposed to deliver a project in a community, then we can't find that in that same community. Then we find it in another extra community, or you did not even deliver at all, or you deliver a very suboptimal project. We find out that 8.61 billion was disbursed for substandard or diverted projects in Imo, Lagos, Kwara, Abia, and Ogun. And these were the main states where you find a bit of fraudulent and substandard delivery. And some of them, we've highlighted them to the EFCC and to the ICPC to say, we found this list of projects that were either fraudulent or possibly even with substandard in their delivery.
Mr. Onigbinde, what I found out is that there are questionable almost 19 billion worth of projects. So if you put 8 billion plus 7.8 billion, it's giving you about 16 billion. For another 2.19 billion, that's giving you almost 19 billion worth of worries that Nigerians should be asking questions.
Exactly.
So if there is 100 billion packet, so you have about 20% of that in a questionable condition.
But there are even more than that, because if we go into that, you will see that we even took some special investigation into certain areas. Like we looked at national grid collapses and we put the hydroelectric power project in. There were 16 dams across 13 states worth 432 million. There were these small micro dams that were meant to be, none was completed. 4 were abandoned, 6 are progressing very slow, and 6 did not even start at all. So a whole lot of funding for micro dams that were supposed to start in local communities, none of that is happening. When you go to the PHC's visualization, we saw that 26 showed improvement. Those were in the budget, and 12 remained under connection. Another problem is the Niger Delta project. 13 did not start at all, and you find that 29 were completed. So we also...
And were money disbursed for this project?
Money were disbursed for this project.
And these are full money disbursed, but these are the state of
things.
We are even happy that these hospital projects are going.
I mean,
but in the Niger Delta, where a lot of question is raised about the livelihood of the people, the quality of lives of the people, the environmental degradation, where you will imagine that leaders should do good to their people,
Yeah.
This is where you find.
And the Niger Delta projects are not bereft of money, because you have, the Ministry of Niger Delta, NDDC have money. So when we wonder when some of those projects are not happening, what exactly is the problem? By the time you look at it, there are some success stories. We might say, especially where in Kaidia Sabo, where we had healthcare after 50 years of advocacy. You have a learning environment in Nawarudin School in Plateau. You had a DDG in a community in Oshun who got an 100 million PET after a lot of letters. You have a clean water after 20 years in Akwa Ibom. You had an erosion crisis. So different things. But I want us to keep going.
There are good stories as much as we have the bad and the ugly ones.
The ugly ones. But let's keep going. I'm going to come back to this point itself. I'm going to come back here. Keep going. And if you look at it, and just hold on a little bit here. If you look at completed projects, you find out that in Ondo, Delta, ranked, like I mentioned, the least performing states, and also you find ongoing states with the proportion with various of implementation at Oyo, Adamawa, Plateau, Ondo, and Enugu. Whereas you have Taraba, Katsina, and Rivers are the lowest ongoing states. Not done, and that's what I want us to pay attention to. Not done, unexecuted. Benue, Ondo, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, and Sokoto have the list of states with the highest proportion of projects that were not executed at all. And this is also, when you compare that to a Katsina, we show that Katsina was improving, it's on the opposite side of things. But I want you to move to...
But it means then that more lawmakers in Benue needs to be queried and questioned.
Yeah, so if you are a resident of Benue, Ondo, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, Sokoto, maybe you can come to us and we can show you our broadsheet. And we are going to publish it online tomorrow. It is a spreadsheet of all the projects. You can follow us on tracker.ng on Twitter or on even our Facebook account, or even email us. We'll show you everybody our spreadsheets.
But one of the explanations they make is that they push the project, they lobby the project, but they are not involved in the execution.
That's not fully true. Two things, and I'll tell you why. One is the fact that you have oversight on the execution of projects in your community. That is 101 of a lawmaking. You have responsibility to push ahead. And that's why we tell people, don't put things that you believe the federal government would not do. Because once you put in there and you say it's for your state, it's now on your pressure, your onus to push and make sure it's done, not just done, and well done, and delivering value. The second thing is that there's a case that we are pushing through in Cross River recently of a lawmaker who used his own company, which had names of his family, to execute a constituency project. Yes, yeah. So maybe Jaribi or something, I've forgotten his name. So you have a situation like that we cannot lie. A lot of these lawmakers are also, dipping their hands and influencing and scheming. In fact, if you get to speak to a lot of civil servants, they will tell you that when it comes to constituency project, they don't want to get closer to it because they believe that is the decision of how the lawmaker wants to execute it.
Give me a moment, because we need to go on a break. We'll give you more expose on what has been happening with your money in your area that you should be concerned about those who say are representing you in the National Assembly. Are they sitting there in your own interest? If they're not, this is time to be asking that question. But we get more details after this break, everyone.